No questions from the floor, Chris. No questions from the floor. We don't have time for it.
Yeah, we're running short on time.
May I speak?
No, Chris, we're down to less than 10 minutes, and I've still got a whole pile of questions here. Question for everyone. Please weigh in. People are encouraging Democrats to register temporarily as a Republican to affect the primary. How do you feel about this? We're starting with Heather.
So this is the tactic in Idaho. They're going to lose, so what do? They join our party and try to dilute our party. So I'm against it, but it's what they do up here. So I think the best way to combat it is to encourage Republicans that are not voting in the primary, to educate them that it's important to vote in May. It's the most important time to vote. It's discouraging, but it's the way the system is allowing it.
I told you right up front, I've been a Republican all my life, and so I've always voted Republican, and I affiliate that way. But I think partisan politics is driving people away. If you look at the numbers of unaffiliated voters, there are a lot of people who I hear when I'm out talking to people that they don't want to be called a Democrat, they don't want to be called a Republican. So we're kind of closing off. We have a closed primary, and we're closing off a lot of people from the process. That if you look at Idaho statistics, 22% of registered voters participate in the primary. We do better up here in the north, about 30% in Bonner County and 40% in Boundary County. So we're getting people out to vote, but we're not getting everybody out to vote. And we do know that the primary is our decision point for us here in North Idaho. So I don't know what the answer is to that, whether we close primary, open primary, or what. But yeah, what do we do about those unaffiliated people who want to vote and participate, but they're not? That's the first time I've seen that sign today.
I think it's disgusting when people use situational ethics. They're intentionally crossing over to change the vote. If you believe in something, you stand up, and you stand up for it proudly. This is something that is happening over and over again. The reason we have a closed primary is because we Republicans want to choose our representative to run. We don't want other people choosing that. We as Republicans want to choose our own. Thank you.
That's the reason for the primary. The primary is where the parties involved get a chance to choose their best candidate. So by crossing over, you're trying to influence, pardon? Oh, I'm sorry, you're trying to influence that, and it's wrong. I've got a big target on my back from the Democrats, so if you haven't seen it, it's right back here. But they're coming after me. They're trying to get me out because they know I'm standing in the way of their agenda. So they are trying to get folks to register as Republicans to vote for my opponents.
Thank you.
Well, I had to think about this because when you are a commissioner up here, you have to represent everyone. And I think it's a travesty that somebody feels they have to change their political party to vote for someone. If someone's known you all their life or whatever and they want to help you out in the primary and they have to change their political party, I think that is very sad. But getting back to it, if more Republicans would come out in the primary and vote instead of staying home, I don't think this would be even a comment. And that's the part that's so sad, is where are the Republicans who won't come and vote in the primary?
Anybody that doesn't think enough of their self to present themselves for exactly what they are, and wear their uniform that fits them, does not deserve your vote or to represent you. It's simple as that. You stand on what your belief is and what you stand for, and that's where you stand. If you can't do that, go home. Get out of the fight and go home.
I personally don't know of any Democrats. I know a lot of unaffiliated people that they like some things with the Republicans, they like a few things with the Democrats, so they are unaffiliated. they're independent. I've encouraged those people to vote, to register Republican, so that they have a choice. Because let's face it, up in North Idaho, your choice is in the primary.
Yeah.
Make a moral and ethical decision, pick a party and stick with it. One of the reasons that we went to the closed primary in Idaho is because Democrats would look for the weakest Republican in some of the races and vote for that person in hopes that their candidate would win in the general election. I recently heard that two people in our community, one a staunch Democrat who holds an elected position, and the other the head of an extreme Democrat group, have both registered as Republicans so they can vote in our Republican primary. That's wrong, shouldn't happen. That's it.
Well, you know, we have to ask ourselves, why are these people doing this, particularly the unaffiliated? I think if those unaffiliated could sit in this room today and seen the rancor we've seen here, amongst ourselves, we're driving Republicans away from our party. And so it's natural that they register to vote because they don't have another choice. And quite frankly, I'm proud of those folks that have put enough trust in me to vote for me, even if they had to cross over. Thank you.
Yeah, my recommendation is just that. I think it is an ethical situation. If we're Republicans, then we want to, through the primary process, nominate our candidates for the general election. And if the Democrats, so we want Republicans to do that, true Republicans. And if the Democrats want to be more competitive in the general election, then they need to, as a party, come up with better ideas that meet the desires of the people and fit within the Constitution, and then they too can be competitive. There are plenty of other states where they are.
Go ahead and hold that.